And welcome back to part 6 of Bloodborne. I have done a lot of configuration onto the microphone settings, so hopefully it will sound smoother. Hopefully. So this part might be a bit of a test, so for the next few parts, because I will be experimenting a lot to try and get that. Again, get the mic quality better, because I'm well aware of how poor it is. Anyway, I'm deliberately letting a kidnapper kill me so I can get access to Hyperion Gaul, because it's the only way to get there. Ow. Oh, I'm already dead. And the one outside Cathedral Ward is the easiest one to, and the quickest on hand to get to. Once it kills you, it will drag you to Hyperion Gaul, or Gaul, the Unseen Village, as it's also known as. Eventually the kidnapper will just abandon us and leave us here. Eventually we'll wake up. Be very careful in this area, because this is a very, very dangerous area that if you're following along and you're new to it, I'd say wait until after you've done Forbidden Woods, then do this area, because then you'll be around about the right level. I'm going here an earlier level because I trust my abilities to be able to do it. There's also a lot of decent loot to get around here for this point in the game. But that was a thick cold blood 10, so that's going to give us quite a lot of blood echoes when used. If you have any kind of church armour when you come down here, the woman that was just talking, you can talk to her and convince her to go to the chapel.
Oh, please don't dead. Oh, please.
But I don't have any church gear, so I think, yeah, I just murder her.
What have I done?
And get the Odin Rife, which I'm not sure I've actually got before, which is why I quickly check to see what it is. Visceral attacks will give you back bullets, so if you rely heavily on viscerals and good at parrying, you can keep it up because you'll keep your bullets going. Because you'll get your bullets back. So that's a very handy one if you're following along. You don't have to kill her. If you have any church equipment, I'd say it's better to put it on and talk to her and convince her to go to the chapel, but hey ho. Up here there's 2 kidnappers. Yeah, they can't kidnap and take you anywhere, but it doesn't change the fact they're very dangerous enemies anyway that can kill you. So be very careful. Thankfully I managed to get the visceral off, so it's not the end of the world. And it doesn't even kill him. I'm always very cautious when it comes to kidnappers, but you'll see, like now the threats of death won't result in me getting taken somewhere else. I am a bit more aggressive in dealing with them, as you're going to see. Do I pick up the item or do I just kill it first? Oh, I kill it first. Or taking that to the face as well. Yeah, I heal up, I'm not taking any chance. The moon one that we just got it increases how many blood echoes you get. There's a number of those you can get. The best one I don't actually get in this run, but you can, and I'll point out how to get it as and when. And that was a Witch of Fenwick you just saw, and these ones are actually dangerous because they've got a grab attack where they'll try and use their cleaver to, let's just say, remove your eyeballs. And at this point that's a very dangerous grab attack to be caught by. So be very careful, because some of them are deliberately placed to try and catch you on the grab attack. The dogs here aren't much threats, so just deal with them how you would every other dog. This door will not open until much later in the game, because we go to an alternate version of this area later on where that door's open. But we won't be able to get to that alternate version of this area until well after Rom. Well, I say well after, it's like the very next area after Rom, but I'll do a few other things first before we go to the main plot line. I like to do all the side stuff first as soon as they're available. And I like the music for this area. It's one of the few areas that actually has music in the background. And I really like it because it really builds the atmosphere. It lets you know exactly how dangerous and menacing and just downright evil of an area you're in right now. So definitely approach it with caution. especially if you're here as early as I am. This lift isn't available to us right now, so just, yeah, see? That lift will only be available to us when we go back on the actual visit in the alternate version. Well, technically, if you look at the plot, since like nothing's going on, I literally just clean up the area so I can go a bit more on the lore. This is the alternate version. The real version is the one we find later on. And you see that this spider has a lot more health because it's a much later on version. This is the one where the kidnappers go to just, well, have their prey and have their prisoners. Whilst the real version is, well, a lot closer by than you might think to the main city. And this is our shortcut back, so you don't have to deal with the kidnappers again if you die cleaning out the area. There's also a boss fight you can do here that once beaten will actually get you a free access path back to Old Yharnam, which is very good because it also puts you closer to the Blood-Starved Beast. So if by somehow you hadn't killed the Blood-Starved Beast yet, you now have a much quicker path to get to him. So the dogs aren't a threat in this area, it's the kidnappers you've got to be aware of. Oh, I even got the visceral. That's one thing I definitely enjoyed, the ragdoll physics. Especially because sometimes they end up in really bizarre places. And this door here will take you to like an area that I chose not to go to straight away, and those two witches will both try and grab you like this one's trying to. But they're also hiding next to a door frame that is likely the first door frame you actually went through, not the one I opened up. I went the long way round, whilst most people will likely go for the short route in, which will put you straight in the best spot for those witches to grab you, unfortunately. To be fair, like recording Bloodborne, I wasn't expecting it to be as tough as it's been. Because I recorded all of the game, it's just editing everything together and then putting the voicing. I'm learning the hard way. There is a lot of editing in the Bloodborne, which is why there's a bit of a gap between some of the uploads of parts, because it's giving me a lot more work than I expected. And plus that, when I'm trying to enjoy my summer as well, it's ended up just being a bit delayed from part to part. So I think whatever Let's Play I do next after this will probably be one that's more relaxed, so I don't have to edit as much, that I can just sort of chill with, because this has been a lot of effort to put together. As much as I'm enjoying it, it has taken it out of me. Because right now I'm stuck between doing the Devil May Cry reboot, because I have a lot to say about that, but that'd be an easy game to go through, or Uncharted 2. But I did Uncharted 1 quite recently anyway, so I'm not sure how I feel about jumping into Uncharted 2 so soon. But we'll see. It just sort of depends on what takes my fancy. But I do have a lot of things to say about the reboot, some good, some bad, as I nearly die. But overall, I do feel like I should give my fair share of it and show that it isn't actually like the horror game that everyone makes out to be, that it was this ultimate disaster. Yeah, it was nothing like the originals, and comparing it to the original is like comparing paint drying to an action movie, but it still has its benefits if you take it as its own thing, which I will demonstrate to you guys as and when. But I roll ahead here because that's the grab. That's the grab that catches a lot of people out, and that grab can kill. After my blind run way back when, well I say way back when, it's like 2 months ago. After my blind run, I just learnt to always roll as you go through there, because otherwise you will just get caught out. And there's nothing you can do about it once you're caught. More blood vials. You can see it's by the runes of the quips that I can hold more blood vials and quicksilver bullets now. I might have mentioned it last part, but it feels quite some time ago since I actually recorded last part. There's 2 kidnappers here, so be careful. Like, don't get both of their attention. If you can get one, use that to your advantage, because if you get both of their attention, you're going to have a really tough time here. Hey. Yeah, I stay back because I don't want to get the other kidnappers' attention. When they go into rage mode, they will get quicker, so capitalise it then and there to kill them, otherwise you're going to struggle to put them down afterwards because they'll just be constantly on you. You know, I might even just put it to a vote, like what one I want to let's play next. Like, just let you guys decide. Because I'd happily do both, but we'll see what happens when we get closer to it. I'll bring it up again, like in an update video or something. But we've got a boss to do, so I need to start talking about strategy and such. Firstly, that summon's there for a reason. If you're here as low leveled as I am, take it. Not because of how much it will help the fight, but because it will distract Darkbeast Paarl enough for you to actually strategize and build on this. Because if you just take it for what it is, you won't last long with our current level. And the AI doesn't do that much for you anyway, so just take it for what it is. Anyway, Darkbeast Paarl. The idea of Darkbeast Paarl is that he will drastically be on the aggressive, but if you keep the aggressive on him, eventually he will stagger. And once he staggers, that's the whole point of the fight. You have to keep the stagger going. You have to keep the pressure up. The moment you get him into stagger, you have to aim at a different leg, because that's how you stagger him, by weakening a leg. And you can see me, like, he's going to keep the distraction going, so I can actually get to a leg. I keep missing, unfortunately, because Darkbeast Paarl does move a lot. But once the leg is completely gone, it's stunned and it lost its ability. Now, don't do what I'm doing here. Move to a new leg. Don't stick on one leg, move to a new leg. Because you can put it down again before you can put the electric back up. Which I think I just barely managed to do. If it roars like that, it means it's fully charged again, so you're going to have to put extra effort into stagger. Look how close I nearly died there from one good hit. That's what I mean, we're very underleveled for this, so be careful. Thankfully Darkbeast Paarl turned back on our AI buddy again, giving me the chance to try and stun the arm, like so. And our AI buddy is actually using a church pick, which is the DLC weapon, I think. Yeah, it is the church pick. So it's sort of like the burial blade, but shorter, which is how I know it's a church pick. At this point I've kind of stopped trying to stagger it, although if you're following along, never change your strategy just because the boss is nearly dead. If a strategy is working to get him close, never get greedy like I'm about to. Because you'll just end up getting killed by it. But there goes Darkbeast Paarl. So the only strategy I can really give for that fight is to keep on the aggression and keep it stunned. Because as you saw there, the moment it got the chance to turn on me, it really turned. It also dropped a spark counter badge, so if you wanted to use a Torontus and haven't picked up one already, now you can get it. And opening this door will get us access back to Old Yharnam, so there's your shortcut straight to Old Yharnam. And it's very close to the area where the Bloodstarved Beast is, if you haven't taken him down yet. Anyway, back at the Hunter's Dream, this is where I start using all the Cold Bloods I've collected from that hard area. And this part's ended up being quite a lot shorter, so I'm going to spend my upgrades and whatnot, and then just upgrade and then buy stuff. Oh, and use my Madman knowledge. So at this point I don't care how much Madman knowledge I've got, because it's not a threat to me having a lot, like on some other builds. Like, there's a certain sets of armor that really reduce your frenzy resistance, so having high insight is a terrible idea. But with this armor, where it has actually got good frenzy resistance, I don't mind having loads. But by the end of the game, I have like 99 by then. At this point I'm just looking through all the weapons you can get, because I noticed a stake driver and a rifle spear in there as well, so that might have come with the Spark Hunter badge. You can also get the Gaul black clothes, which I already sold because I picked them up elsewhere, and you can get the Tomb Prospector armor as well, which if you're following along and you don't care for the frenzy resistance, pick up the Tomb Prospector because it's better in every way, just not frenzy resistance. And because I like my frenzy resistance, I stick with this. But if you don't mind sacrificing your frenzy resistance, pick it up because it will save you. I'm putting a few upgrades into my pistol. I only put upgrades into the pistol if I have them spare. And I'm also going to mess with my gemstones, I think, a little bit. I never put elemental ones on because elementals null out physical damage boosts. So it's just better to stick with the damage boost in my opinion. But I'm going to wrap up this part. So next time on Bloodborne, we're finally going to go into the Forbidden Woods for our first of the 2 visits to there. So until then, you take care now.